back for the first half of Module 2 of Read Tarot with Confidence by Biddy Tarot. So as I suspected, that first module was a good bit shorter because it was that introductory, here's how the program works, this is what you're going to learn module. Those are typically a little shorter. And so I suspect most of the rest of the modules I will be splitting up into 2, as I am doing with this one. So this is Module 2, Becoming the Tarot Reader You Always Wanted to Be. And one of the things I think that when you're a kid and you see your teacher out in the real world is that first indication that, oh wait, teachers are humans too. They're not just this mystical thing that belongs in the classroom. And to demonstrate this, here at the top of our Module 2, it is missing the word reader. Becoming the tarot you always wanted to be. And so even our wonderful Bridget Esselmont, who I just adore listening to her podcast and learning from her website, and then the videos, she's teaching all of the videos in this program, can make typos. But it is becoming the tarot reader you always wanted to be. And so in this module, it says you'll learn how to use the tarot for way more than just fortune telling, which is awesome because I don't even use it for fortune telling. I use it more for like a life coaching kind of thing. Tap into the wide range of tarot reading styles that exist. Define exactly what type of tarot reader you want to be and start living your dream of becoming an amazing tarot reader. So the videos are Introduction to Module 2, What is the Tarot, What you believe shapes how you read, What kind of tarot reader are you, and what makes a good tarot reader, and bringing it all together. And so I did the first 3, as like I said, I was going to divide it in half. So I will be kind of just going over my notes from the first 3 of Module 2 and this video, and watch for video number 2 of this set for the second half of Module 2. And then I will also link somewhere into the show notes the link to where I talked about Module 1. So without further ado, so the first activity was the introduction, and the activity that part of that was how to get the most out of the classes. And so how can you get the most out of Module 2 lessons? And then she recommended drawing a tarot card to find out, and then take note of my original impression of the card and what it meant for me. And the card that I drew was the Seven of Pentacles. And the insight I got from that is that I will see results through effort and persistence. By putting in time and energy now, then I will gain the long-term rewards of a healthy tarot reading practice. And so, which is to me that, I thought that was an amazing card. That, put in the effort, be persistent. I think that's something that we all struggle with, is like we get this idea of, oh my gosh, I want to do this thing, and you have all of this energy and excitement at the beginning of it, but then for whatever reason, life gets in the way. Maybe you're not getting results as quickly as you want. Whatever reason, your effort starts to wane, your persistence starts to wane. You miss one here. Well, I've already missed one, so I might as well miss 2, and then you kind of fall off, and then you blame yourself. I'm not sure who said it originally. I know I've heard it many, many places, is that if you're trying to set up consistency or you're trying to build a habit, don't miss it twice. Like, it's okay to miss once occasionally. So like, I post a daily tarot card to my Instagram account Sunday through Friday. I don't post one on Saturdays. And every now and then, my life is just crazy and I will miss a day, but I try to never miss 2. And that maintaining that consistency over time, and then paired with my own sort of tagline that I came up with when I was doing a lot of more decluttering coaching, is that small, consistent actions add up to big changes. The thing that you need to build any habit or to learn any skill, you need to find what is the smallest possible thing that you can do towards that goal every single day and stick to it. And then once you have built that skill of sticking to that, add on to it a little bit. But you want to start with the smallest possible action that you can take every single day and stick with. Again, I don't know if I heard it from someplace, but this is, I think, my own ism. At least I know I've said it a lot, and I don't know if I heard it from someplace else or if it's mine. But the hardest thing to lift when you're starting something is your own butt off the sofa. So try to make what is the smallest possible thing you can commit to every day. And so that's where that Seven of Pentacles meant a lot to me personally when it came up in this reading at this moment. because of my own internal work that I've worked really, because I used to be like terribly inconsistent, and I would have these like great ideas, these great goals. I would start on this project and then it would peter out, and then I wouldn't see it to fruition, and I wouldn't be successful because I got bored or whatever. But ever since I really have worked with my own self to maintain that consistency of like, what is the smallest consistent thing I can do every day so that I can then build on that to build those habits, life-changing. So the Seven of Pentacles coming up for me for this, how do you get the most out of these lessons, is results through effort and persistence. It's like perfection. So then video 2 was, what is the tarot? And my notes from her video, one of the things is that the tarot is universal ideas, that the major arcana represents spiritual lessons, the 40 number cards represent our day-to-day lives, and the court cards represent people or situations. And then again, drawing a tarot card, and I loved this one. In fact, I posted it on my stories. I don't know if you saw it, if you follow me on Instagram. Draw a card in response to the question, what is tarot? And I drew the Magician. Like, yes, right? Oh my gosh, I was like, it's crazy. And my notes from drawing the Magician for that question, what is the tarot, is everything you need to know is right at your fingertips. It is a way to bring my higher self into alignment with my daily life, and that inspired action. The Magician represents inspired action. And so what is tarot? Everything you need to know right at your fingertips. What is tarot? A way to bring my higher self into alignment with my daily life. And what is the tarot? Inspired action. Loved it. And then on to video 3. What you believe shapes how you read. And so this section was 11 questions you must ask yourself as a tarot reader. So I'm just going to pop through these questions, and feel free to answer these questions for yourself. So 1, is the future set in stone or yours to create? I think the future is yours to create. Every choice sends you down a new path towards a new potential. And so as such, I don't see reading the tarot as fortune telling or future prediction, because any moment you could make a different decision that would send you in a different direction. If you know anything about navigating ships across an ocean, and few of us do, so I don't either. This is just the analogy that was taught to me. So I've never navigated a ship across the ocean either. But if you are off, like when you leave the east coast of the US and you're headed to Africa, if you are off just even a fraction of a degree in your calculation, when you get to Africa, you are going to be miles away from where you intended to land. When I'm recording this, Artemis 2 just took its trip around the moon and has now safely landed back on planet Earth in the Pacific Ocean. And they calculated its arrival time back into the atmosphere and landing into the Pacific Ocean to the minute. It's amazing. That is not what tarot does. To me, it's more like guidance. It's helping you make the decision on what path to take in order to achieve the goal that you have, but it is not telling you that for sure this is what's going to happen. So to me, the future is yours to choose. Question number 2, do you predict or counsel? You probably already know the answer to that, given my first answer. Counsel. I see tarot and myself as a reader as assisting someone to find the right answer within themselves. Prediction feels like taking that free will away. I feel more like I am a coach when I'm helping people, and then I'm using tarot as the conduit for coaching or as the framework for coaching. And if I predict like this is going to happen, I feel like that's taking the person's free will away from them. And then also if you're like, oh yeah, you're going to find the house of your dreams next week. Well, they still have to go out and look. Like it's not going to, well, I hope the house doesn't land in their lap and it's the Wizard of Oz, but they still have to take action and go out and look. And so, yeah, I see myself more as a counselor than as a predictor. Number 3, is it more important to be accurate or helpful? Going back to that, I don't believe it's predictive. I don't think there is such a thing as accuracy in tarot reading because, again, any little choice that somebody can make is going to send them down a different path to a new potential. And so definitely I said helpful. I did make a note here that Bridget made an interesting point to be sure your messaging is in alignment with whether you think it's better to be accurate or helpful. For example, don't have a feedback question of, was my reading accurate, on your feedback form when your focus is about being helpful. Number 4, are you psychic? I don't think so. I think I'm intuitive, but I think those are different. My mother was psychic, and it scared the ever-loving bejesus out of me when I was a little kid. I will preface this with my mother was an abusive person. I had an abusive family. My grandmother was a true narcissist, not like a narcissist behavior type, but like a viciously terrible person, narcissist. My mother was unfortunately a product, an only child of that, and had many of her own issues. And she was very clearly psychic. Like, she saw our house burn down before it burned down. She could walk into a house and tell you who had died there and generally how, like not their name, but she could see what they look like and have a general sense of how they had died. Super fun when you're a little kid, and she just told you all that regardless of how old you were. So that scared me a lot when I was little. I know when I was little I could see and hear ghosts because we had a cowboy ghost that lived in the house that we grew up in. I could hear him. He would rock in the rocking chair. He would literally flip the pages of a magazine with the whole family sitting in the living room. And that was kind of scary, but like that wasn't the thing that scared me. It was more my mom's. We'd be like at a random friend's house. She'd be like, oh, blah, 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 died in this house, la, la, la. I'm like, ugh. And so it kind of freaked me out as a little kid. And we had a couple other like randomly weird paranormal things that happened when I was a little kid. And so growing up with that narcissist, I did a lot to really shut off my emotions. Because if I showed any emotions that were not approved, I got in a lot of trouble. And so I would not be surprised if I should have been psychic, but the PTSD of growing up in that environment changed my brain chemistry, because literally your brain grows differently when you grow up in an abusive environment. But I don't consider myself to be. I do consider myself to be intuitive, and even that is something that I've come to late in life, because it's taken me till late in life to trust myself. When you've been gaslit for your entire developing years, it takes a long time to trust yourself and really have confidence in yourself. And at my age now, I do. And so with that, I have a lot of intuition, but I do not consider myself psychic per se. Number 5, is tarot a spiritual or psychological tool? And I kind of give a non-answer to this one because I'm like, I think it's a bit of both. And I think you can use it for both. There's times that I use it personally to help myself work through a psychological problem, a mental health problem, or something like that. There's times I use it to help myself make decisions, which I think is more of a psychological use for it. But then there's also times that I kind of use it to connect with the universe and with my spirit guide. So I think it is a bit of both. Question number 6. Are the messages in the cards from you or the divine? I think they are from the universe or the divine, but my job as a reader is to help them make sense in context. So it's to help make those messages from the universe or the divine make sense in the context of whatever question has been brought to the cards. Full disclosure, I am a pantheist, which means that I think we are all the divine and the divine is all of us. We are all completely connected, so that if I injure someone else, I am essentially injuring myself, because we're all cells in the same divine body. And so in that regard, the message is kind of from me and from the divine or the universe, because we are all one. The cards are a way to help funnel that message into something that's usable in the real world. Number 7. Do you read what you feel or what you know of the card? I read what I feel, though that often starts from what I know of the card. I am giving so many yes and questions. Sometimes what I feel doesn't always 100% match up with what I know. And so in that instance, I will lean more towards the feeling in that moment. Number 8, do you tell the client what they want to hear or what they need to hear? I try to tell a client what they need to hear, but I try to be gentle about it. I don't know that I could tell somebody what they want to hear, but then I also am only doing email readings right now. So I often get just a question and not a lot of like the person's not there going, oh, please let this answer come up. So I'm not getting that energy directly from them. So I always go into it just, what do the cards say? So in some regards, I don't know that I always even do either. This is what the cards are telling me right here. And just lay it out for them. Number 9, do you identify the issue or fix the problem? So I try to identify the issue and paths for potentially solving it if that's asked as part of the question. But honestly, it's up to the client to fix it. So I will help identify the issues that are surrounding whatever question they brought to me, give them ideas for how to solve it that come up in the cards. But ultimately, no reader can fix the problem, honestly. And if somebody's telling you they can fix the problem, I feel like there's potential for manipulative and like kind of money grubbing behavior. So if somebody says, oh, I'll fix your problems with the tarot, I would give them a little bit of a side eye and take that with a grain of salt, because unless they're going to go out and pay your bills for you, how really can they fix the problem? They need to be giving you ideas on how you can fix the problem. Number 10, do you use only the tarot during a reading or other modalities and tools? At this time, I only use the tarot and my own intuition and brain, but I am interested in learning Reiki and have actually recently found a teacher who teaches classes regularly in the Kansas City area. I feel like that is something that was in kind of alignment with my own, how I like to help people. And so while I don't right now, I just use tarot and my own brain. And occasionally for myself, I've never done it for somebody else, but occasionally a pendulum. But I would like to add Reiki. And the last question, number 11, how does the tarot really work? And what I said, my comment was, it helps you to tap into your own higher self and intuition and the energy of the universe to help make clear the answers to life's questions. The answers are always out there swimming around us. They're like atoms in the air. What things like tarot and the pendulum and other types like this, where they help you focus and into your own intuition, what they are doing is they're helping you tap into that focus. It's helping you focus, or even more like if you think of it too as like a funnel, it's helping you take all of this up here and funnel it down into something that is accessible, that you can actually understand. That's what I think of as the tarot is. It's just helping you tap into that, your own higher self and intuition and the universe at large to find the answers to life's questions. So that is what I have for you on the first half of Module 2, becoming the tarot reader you always wanted to be. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss when I talk about the second half of Module 2. And thank you for being here with me. I forgot on the last one, but I'll say it on this one. Don't forget that small, consistent actions add up to big changes.